To manage Gus. Gus, I should almost put a chair up to see if Gus will sit here. Maybe not. What's going on, guys? Good afternoon. Happy Friday. My name is Matt, coming to you live from Creedmoor, North Carolina. This is Video Chicken. Someone's late. Someone's running a little late. Someone missed their exit. So I'm going to give her a pass because I think this is the first time ever. So she will be joining us here in a little bit. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to get everyone in.
There.
Make sure everything's working. Make sure the sound check's good. I guess Gus is just, I know he's going to sit right behind me. The family has left, the children and non, so Gus does not know what to do with himself. Make sure we go to Restream. No one's coming in yet. So, oh, there's one. Okay, I guess there's our first person. I always wonder, who's our first person? We should almost have like a a competition of who gets here first and award them with something. Just an idea.
I have to find the comments.
So it's really easy. Remember what I taught you. Go up to the main screen. Go to the right. Right, down, up, click. Just like, see, it's just that easy. Why do we only have one person? I guess it's time to no longer do the show. People don't want to watch anymore. I'm just kidding. Something's not right. Guarantee it.
Well, we're live.
No, I know we're live. I see the live button. Hope everyone's doing well. But click on Oh, there's number 2. For the 2 people watching us right now, appreciate it. Let us know where you're watching. Leave a comment down below. 'Cause I want to make sure it's not just Facebook, that both of them are being streamed right now. We got to make sure we stream to our website, and that takes a couple seconds.
No, we're not. That takes more than a couple seconds.
I was trying to make it sound good, Ingrid.
I know, but I'm not. I can't lie to the public.
Well, I wasn't lying. I mean.
Well, I don't get it up on there because I have too much to do with
All right, YouTube is up.
Yeah, awesome.
All righty. So if you're just joining us, someone is running a little bit behind. She will be here shortly. Can't wait to hear what she has to say. Today's going to be a very interesting. We got some interesting stuff to talk about. I'll let Kristen talk about that when she gets here, but I guess we'll just go ahead and get started. I'm going to see how much I'm going to sweat in here. We do not have the air conditioning working in the studio yet. How you feeling, Ingrid?
I'm good.
It's not too warm?
No, I don't mind. I don't mind. Do you want to?
Well, let's say hi to Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Hi, Mackenzie. Mackenzie's sitting
her.
patiently in the green room.
All right. Do I just add?
Unmute her, bring her in. There's Mackenzie. She did decide to put the sweater on. I guess it's still cold up in New York. Dropped the hair. She had her pigtails going.
Yeah.
I said, no, just leave the pigtails in. I thought they looked good, but how you doing today?
Just trying to make it good. It's actually really beautiful outside here today, but because of the new dress code, I decided to put my fancy sweater on. Nice spring color.
I appreciate it. Yeah, there is an official dress code here at Carolina Coops headquarters.
I didn't get that memo.
No, not yet, because you don't work here yet full time. You still refuse to come work here full time and play with the rest of us. You want to stay home in your own little bubble, but I'm going to slowly. Do you see what I'm doing to you? I'm slow. Mackenzie, that's not helping. I'm slowly bringing Ingrid in. She's just shaking her head no.
So what's the dress code?
I believe it's called business casual, right? I think it's
Yeah.
important. People don't want to hear about that.
What were they doing before?
Oh my God, there's some things that Evan has worn. Yeah, see, look at Evan's already laughing back in the corner. Evan, get to work. You wouldn't believe some of the things that boy has worn.
I'm a real big fan of the like volleyball t-shirts that I cut the sleeves off from high school, and stretchy pants.
Yeah, those I forget what you call them. Anyways, Mackenzie, thanks for joining us. Ingrid, thanks for joining us. Let's go ahead and get the show started. People are finally coming in. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Video Chicken Live, coming to you from Creedmoor, North Carolina. We got a very interesting show today. I can't wait. I'll let Kristen, she's going to have some things to talk about. And this is going to be a lot about some things that are going on with her, and I hope we can help her out. Just give everyone a heads up.
And we're also going to talk about setting up a brooder.
Yes. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to capture that on last week's show. We did the hatching. And I think later on in the day when things kind of calmed down here a little bit, we went and set the brooder up and I went live on Instagram. But we're going to talk about that because I know there's a lot of people that ask about setting up the brooder. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. Don't overthink it. So many people overthink it. But as always, the baby chicks, and of course, when they grow up, the chickens will tell you what they need and don't need.
Perfect.
Yeah. How's your baby chicks doing, Mackenzie?
Good. So my Bantam babies are now like the same size as my regular chicks were when they hatched. Which is, it's funny. And the other night, sat them on my lap with a paper towel, and they were trying to peck my freckles off of my arms. So, my like naughtiest, mouthy Bantam is my golden sea bright, and her name is Pickles. So, because she's always in a pickle, and then the second naughtiest is Baloney because she's full of baloney.
Where in the world did you come up with these names?
When I picked them out, they were in an assorted bantams. So I decided to name them like assorted sandwich names.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That is right. You told us that last week. I forgot about that. All righty. Well, I can't wait to start talking about chicken coops and chickens. I'm going to do my best without my chicken expert here.
So let's go to Kenzie's top.
Now, my dad's just come in the back of the scenes. If he's interrupting, it must be an emergency.
Hi, Big
He's
Doob.
He's pointing finger. All right. Everyone says hi. All right, Mackenzie, how's it going this week? What kind of questions you got?
So one of them that actually, it may have come through on a YouTube question, is the Acre board food safe? And I don't know if we covered that or reached out to Chandler at all. But I thought that was a really good question because we pushed that the high density is a food safe material.
I lost you for a second. So the question is the Acre considered food safe?
Yes.
I doubt it. I can't think of any reason why you would ever want to prepare food on a product like that. It's definitely not designed to be food safe. And it's not important for that material to be food safe. The reason why I mentioned that our high density polyethylene is food safe is because it is.
Right.
I know a lot of people do find that to be a huge benefit, but high density in general, I've always said is way overkill. But I've always listened to people's comments, complaints, and they're always scared to death that the inside of their hen house is going to rot out, especially doing the deep litter method, which is not true at all. Not true at all, but perception is everything, I tell you, and that's why I love the high density, but you know, we had a major scare there for a while where we couldn't get it, and then, of course, this product came about, the Acre product, which regardless if there was a scare with the high density or not being able to be available, the Acre is green. It's 50% rice hull. It still has the same benefits as high-density polyethylene. However, that is an interesting question. I don't know, but I can tell you, one, well, I'll do what I always ask everyone else to do, is we'll look into it. That's how we learn. But it's there's no way that would be important because plywood, you can use plywood. You can oil it and make sure that moisture can't penetrate it. Well, actually, you could still think of a wooden salad bowl as being food safe. You know?
Kenzie bit into it, so she would know.
Oh, you're right.
He's here. Wow.
Right? You bit right.
Yeah.
See?
You can see
Our chicken expert has arrived.
Yes, you could see Kenzie's teeth marks from when she bit into it. So
I tried really hard to destroy this thing and couldn't.
I know someone had also asked if it was fire safe, and it is.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Now, what does it define as fire safe? Like,
it's
is it resistant?
fire resistant.
Right.
So, which is, more than I would think plywood. If I
would definitely.
I've had a Coop fire, and that's not fun.
Right. I mean, the Acre product is amazing.
Right.
Matt's trying to get Kristen tangled here.
Here.
Always something. Never a dull moment in Carolina Coop's world.
No.
Oh, you have no idea. Boy, I can't wait. Have we ever talked about the possibility of the other big thing we got going on? I've never really talked about that. I know I'm getting some blank stares.
know.
We know what we're talking about.
The
And Kristen reminds me all the time. She's like, God, what are they waiting on?
I know what you're saying.
It is absolutely nuts. That's things that go on behind the scenes that people have no idea about. So, well, that's a great question. Let's make sure we look into that. And
And again, we don't really need it to be food
It
safe
does
because they're not eating.
That's
in
exactly
the hen house.
correct.
They're pooping in the hen
right.
house.
And what you have to understand is what
Let's put it into perspective.
what makes a product food safe. So go ahead and
I mean, we call it a diaper.
Exactly.
You don't need that. Hold on.
It
All
is the
bear
diaper.
with me. Bear with us, folks.
That's all right. Kenzie and I will just keep talking while everybody.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the FedEx man come in. He just dropped off 1,000 Columbus Aqua nipples from Heritage Acre Market. So
Oh,
I
nice.
talked with Nicole a little bit. We're, I mean, flying through them aside from everything that's been going on with the heated watering systems and
So
everything.
are people buying just the nipples? Is that what's happening, or are we just using?
We
them?
have had quite a few people that will just purchase them. I grabbed a few of them for my own purposes. And they work so much better than I had the vertical ones just drilled into the base of a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
They just can make a mess
He's
of
not gonna leave us alone.
everything.
Those are kind of nice.
Pretty much.
Okay.
All righty.
Yay,
now.
Kristen's here.
Yay. So what happened? You
I
missed.
took a wrong turn.
How could you?
I went a different way. I wanted to go I had a lot on my mind, and I thought, well, I'll just take the highway the whole way. And I wasn't used to going that route, so I missed the exit, and I went 9 miles out of my way and had to turn around at Lizard Lick Road.
Oh, we know that show. Go ahead and bring your mic around.
Oh, yeah, did you hear that?
So I'm gonna
I'm
get
sure.
so lost when I come
Yeah.
down.
So I had a lot on my
GPS.
mind. I just missed the exit, turned around at Lizard Lick Road, and so I went 18 miles out of my way.
Gotcha. I'm not hearing Kristen in our headphones. Mackenzie, are you hearing Kristen?
I can hear Kristen.
Yeah, I'm not hearing. Are you hearing me in your headphones? Hello?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you. That's really, really bizarre. As long as everyone's hearing Kristen, we are going to be good to go. All right. So actually, we're just doing questions, and someone asked, is the Acre product considered food safe like the high-density polyethylene? Do you recall when we had that interview with the manufacturer?
I don't see why it would be food safe.
Right, and it doesn't need to be.
Right. It doesn't even need to be in the chicken coop. I mean, because we're not eating chicken crap, right?
Right,
Right.
right.
Hopefully.
Well, I don't
Well,
think
I mean,
so.
I don't. To each his own, of course.
Anyways, all right.
And if there was a fetish for that, yeah, I don't know.
Do you hear Kristen in your headphones?
Well, we can hear each other right now because we're sitting next to each other.
Well, yes, but I just that bugs me. I find it interesting. So now I'm going to keep looking at that board wondering, why am I not hearing you? But anyways, the audience says, Lindsay Doty right there says, I can hear her.
Okay,
Mike Trapp said it's kind of quiet, but I think that was before you turned your mic
Yeah.
around. All righty. What's another question coming in this week?
So this one is for the hen house door. Should I leave that open at night?
Yes.
I mean, I probably get this question so many times.
Well, let's be clear now.
Yes.
No, well, no, you're
no,
confusing.
I mean, yes, let's be clear.
Okay.
Yes, but let's be clear.
It's going to be a hell of a day, I can tell already.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So now we got to be clear, and here's where terminology is so important, because I know a lot of people when they hear that, they're like,
I
why
bet we
in
have a
the
diagram for this.
why in the I know Ingrid's going to bring it up here real quick on
Yeah.
the website. Yes, you are. We're
That
gonna
would be
we got to
helpful.
show people. They don't want to just keep seeing us. It's getting boring. This background.
What
Might
am
have to
I
change it
doing?
up. We only got 18
Well-
viewers right now. Something has happened. Something's fallen off with our social media. I am not happy about that. Yeah, that's
We're
crazy.
live
So-
on Facebook and YouTube. I can see both of those.
It must be so many people are too busy now for us, or we're boring them and they don't like it anymore. So Ingrid's going to bring this up. Here's what I'm getting at. Yes, that is a good question, and I am going to assume what they're referring to is on the back of our hen house, we have our standard doors, and we would normally say, yes, there's 2 doors, but technically there's 4. There's 2 doors that make up 1 door. So correct me if I'm wrong, what they are referring to is that solid part of the door that'll cantilever out, and it has the screen behind it, right? Should they leave those open?
No, that's not what she's talking about.
Then I just wasted everyone's time. Why would we leave anything else open?
The actual question was, should I leave my coop door open at night? But upon like further investigation into the conversation, this customer was referring to their hen house door into the run. So if
the
you
one-
had a manual hen house door, should you close that at night?
The one on top of the ladder.
The hen house chicken door.
Yes.
Okay, see, I get confused. Maybe I'm just
We
the only
should
one.
cover all doors.
We should, because now here's the other thing. Here's what people do. They go, Matt, that's not a door. There's no door. It's an opening.
Yeah, in most cases, it is an opening because it should be left open.
Absolutely. One of the best parts about our coops is we keep it so simple. And one of the best parts is that you don't have to shut your hens in the hen house in at night because it's completely protected by the run.
Yeah.
You don't have to get up in the morning, go let them out, make sure they're shut in at night. They do it themselves.
And they can use that fresh air. So I would say 99.9% of the time that should always be open.
Right. We do have a handful of customers that insist they got to have something. And we always tell them, okay, if you want it, sure, go for it. Put an automatic door on. We've done manual wooden doors. We've done guillotine style doors that go up and down with a pulley system that you can actuate from the outside. Overkill. You don't need it. But if people want it and they're going to pay for it, let's do it.
And the only other time would be if you're getting your chickens used to the hen house for the coop for the first time, and you want them to stay in the hen house for a couple of days. But you don't have to close it. You can block it off with a piece of cardboard.
Right.
You don't have to be fancy.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. That is another time that you would close that off. I apologize. I assume they're talking about, because I do get the question, the cantilever part on the back hen house doors. When I hear hen house doors, I think about the back doors that you're going to open up. Then you got your deep litter door down at the bottom. So technically, you have 5 doors on the back of your hen house.
We get
Some
that
people
a
are
lot
like,
too.
well, yeah, they're like, well, you got to close them every night. Hell no. No, you don't. That's the beauty of the
Right,
coops.
and-
Leave them open.
I think, like, especially this time of year, especially places like here, I mean, it could be like 90 during the day and then all of a sudden drop to like 55 at night and nobody knows what the heck is going on. So the people are, do I close those at night if it's going to get cold? I don't know.
Again, what did
Always
chickens do before coops were invented? They went up into the tree branches. What the hen house does is protects them now. But when they're up in the tree branches, there's no doors. It's open. It's airy. That's what they want. We want to offer as much open air as possible. But the reason why we designed the coop is, well, one major reason is to protect them. But we're mimicking what they naturally
They are
want.
actually pretty tough. I've had chickens, and I know of another chicken this past winter that lived outside all winter long in a tree. I mean, snow,
I have
ice.
one that did that.
Yeah, I mean, they are really resilient. So I wouldn't worry too much about it.
I really want earbuds now.
Yeah, they look cool, don't they?
Did you order them? Or did you?
No, I swiped them for my son. I mean, and he gave me such a hard time. He said, I thought you said you were going to buy your own. And I said, technically, I did buy these.
There you go.
Yeah. If
And
they're
your
in
3 other
house and
pair.
you buy them, they're yours.
That's
So,
funny. All
I
right,
love
well,
mine.
great question.
It's
I
just
d-
more comfortable.
I don't want to lose Mackenzie too quick, but I'm kind of curious if there's any comments regarding any of the things that we just talked about.
Somebody asked if their office in New York is still in business, and yes.
Yep, you're looking at it right now.
I'm here.
Mackenzie's up in New York. My goal is to keep that open. That is going to become the full-time custom shop. That is going to be reset up for custom woodworking. Right now, it's a hybrid between custom and mass production. Mass production and custom is oil and water. It just doesn't belong together. You can't set it up right to be efficiently. So that's another reason why I can't wait. We have finally finished taking everything down in the soon to be production shop. And we're going to start very soon mass producing the mass production coops here.
I saw Kathy Hasty.
Yes, you remember her?
Yes.
Way down, and it was right on the border of North Carolina, right on South Carolina. Big.
I remember that. I
Yes.
remember the gnats. It was a summer day with a lot of gnats.
Yeah, I remember your words were, because you were doing the apron, and you always loved, your fascination was
Yeah.
doing the
It's
corners.
like sewing.
Yeah, and you said
Crafty.
they were driving you insane.
Yeah.
That's those gnats, especially down into Georgia. Those flies can get real bad.
Fisher Matt Ryan has a question.
Oh, Fisher Matt Ryan, how you doing, sir? What you got?
He says, my Polish hen can't figure out how to go to bed when it's getting dark. It just sits there. Any way to teach it to go to go in at night? All the others have no problem.
You're limited to
What kind of chicken?
a Polish has some struggles with good instincts sometimes.
And the Silkies have more.
Sometimes silkies do too. I think, and it's just my hypothesis, if I can be a little rude to these creatures, that the breeding has encouraged like fluff instead of brains.
Yes.
I
Yes,
would
I
agree,
think some of
yeah.
that brain material has been reduced in order for the fluff.
Yeah,
Now I'm not.
Oh,
I
they're
see
so cute.
they are so cute.
And that's the only reason why I'll still add a couple Polish, because they
Yes.
are a great
Yes,
conversational
they
piece.
are.
But I
They
will
are
absolutely not.
wonderful. I wish I
add-
had one.
Silkies take it to the whole extreme
Yes.
where they run into a tree and sit down, wait for the tree to move. But
I mean, sometimes it's because they can't see very well.
Well,
but
that's
you
what I
don't
was going to say. right?
typically see that with a female because of their feathers go
Yeah.
more of a round.
yeah, they're top hat or crested. Those feathers
Well,
up
the
top
males have the
have a lot more.
don't
And they
know
have
what
those
they're
long
called.
shoots.
yes.
So would you?
They look like Billy Ray Cyrus.
I would.
Yes.
I would recommend that he puts the chicken in it.
Yeah, did we even address this
No, you
question
didn't.
yet?
No, that's why I'm trying to get you back on track. So I would. My
Oh.
suggestion would be to physically put the chicken
Yes.
in there at night.
And hopefully, I've noticed that if you have just a few of these dumb chickens in a flock of able, normal instinct chickens, they tend to follow, and it certainly does help. Am I not being PC? I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
speaking frankly here.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
So if
It's
you
fine.
have a full flock of these things, you might as well cancel your social life because you're going to be out there picking up dumb chickens every night.
Right, and that's not fun.
No.
It's not fun. Now, granted, all my Polish, and I've had a handful, I've never had that issue.
Yeah, because
But
it's
I've
usually
always-
just like one or two, right?
I noticed they are slower, but
Yeah.
they do follow suit, like
Yeah.
you said. But if you got one that's not following suit, I think eventually will.
I think it will too. It just needs
But
a
put it
little
up there at
special
night, and
assistance.
it'll learn.
Yeah, because once it comes down in the morning, then maybe it might click that little.
So, well, here's one thing. Here's one thing
We
I'll
might need
add.
a little bit more patience.
Here's one
for
thing
these.
I'll add to it, and I know my guys in the shop are like, Matt, shut up. We got enough work. We have had to design coops for silkies with special ladders, where we had to put the side rails on it. So I've had customers say they insist the silkies just can't use it, and I don't think it's so much that they're dumb, they're not brilliant, but they can't see, and I think they need to feel that along the side as they go up, and it worked. So maybe he's got
It's like a
Polish.
wheelchair ramp and a rail.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's like a cat where their whiskers can be the opening.
All I
don't
can
know.
tell
The
you is
feather
we have
steel.
made silky ladders or ramps for certain customers, and all we did is we made it flat, and we had to put grass on it, or we had to change something up. But the important part was we had to put sides on it, and the idea was that they can feel it and they learn it, and that kind of makes sense because
Yeah.
they can't see.
Yeah.
So maybe his silk or his Polish is just really beautiful and has a heck of a top hat and
Right.
it's covering her
Could be.
face. Can our listeners, our viewers, post pictures in the comments? If not, we need to ask Ecam if they can do that. 'Cause I would love for if Matt Ryan could right now post a picture of his Polish, or maybe email us. I'm sure he's
Yeah,
got our
he can-
email.
He just said, "I'm going to just let her sit out there."
Let nature take its course.
There you go.
All right, Matt. If you can let Matt Ryan just email me a picture of your Polish. We'll put it up at some point.
Because now I'm curious. I'll bet you it just can't see. Very well.
Could be.
Very well. All right.
Maybe
So-
she needs pigtails.
I've tried that, and the way that they peck all day, it doesn't stay. I've tried.
Oh, 'cause that's a good
Yeah.
point, because I've seen that. They take
Yeah.
those little rubber bands, they put it up, and
Or a barrette. I've tried a barrette. Like a nice
you
side
know,
part and a barrette.
you have not.
I have, and that because of their heads
You'd
going
be-
like that all day. They just
little
it
guy.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
There you
Yes.
go. Wow.
Dreadlocks would be good, maybe.
Do we have any other questions for Kenzie?
Yes, we got number 3 coming up.
This is probably a great question for Kristen, actually, is where can you get fertilized eggs?
Not me anymore.
Well, that's for later, Kristen.
Thanks, Dale. Let's see.
Did I ruin it?
No, no, we're just teasing it.
Let's see.
Usually local hatcheries, or you can find places in your like there's Facebook groups and stuff that local
Oh yeah,
hatcheries will
yeah.
have.
Facebook groups.
Anybody that has
Craigslist,
that has a rooster, most
right.
likely those eggs are going to be
you
fertile.
step outside and listen.
I would love to send the plug out to oh my gosh, mypetchicken.com. She has donated to us fertile eggs. They wrap them all up in bubble wrap, just do a heck of a job. And the reason why they donated them to us is those are the eggs we use to hatch eggs in the classroom. So I don't know if they still sell fertile eggs. I would only assume they do.
Hatcheries do. And
Local people.
I think local people would be
Right.
better for eggs because you do lose some of that. There's so little control you have over the mail.
Right.
The amount of time it takes to get there and how much they're jostling around. And, there's...
Yeah.
It's better to get them locally, but you can mail order them.
Right.
And I would also put in a plug for barnyard mixes. There's lots of people out there who have one rooster and a bunch of different kinds of hens, and those make great birds. I mean,
Okay, hold on. So barnyard mixes.
Yes.
That's just a general term. You're not barnyardmixes.com?
No,
Nothing like
no,
that?
I'm just
we need to get that, Ingrid. That's
I'm
I
sure
thought
it's
maybe that's
taken.
what you meant.
that's no, it's a term for people who have just whatever. It's not a purebred.
Right.
So I think that I wouldn't shy away from that. I've given people my eggs, and
He's getting a baby chick.
yeah, and they actually turn out lovely. I mean, just absolutely wonderful pets.
Well, so these are some barnyard mixes, right?
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like this one, this gray one right here is a barnyard mix. I mean, that's a
That's
lovely
like a-
little bird.
A copper baron mix. Look at Gus looking at that chicken.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Gus has been very good. He was sticking his head in there.
I was worried.
He's I don't know. He's a little.
He's on
Focused.
point right
He's
now.
licking
He's
his-
very
He's a little.
he's
focused.
bouncing lights around.
Licking
Yeah.
his chops.
He's
But
a little too focused.
I can
in
tell
mine.
you, this is how we've introduced Gus to these baby chicks. We've done it
He loves to give them
since
hugs.
we've had them, and I just want to play.
Are you my little pet? Are you my little household pet?
That's your emotional support.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. I sleep with them. They're my household pets.
I've gotten some barnyard mixes from Kristen, and I love them.
Yeah.
They're fantastic, and I think,
We're gonna bring them back in when we do the brooder.
and I am also going to give a shout out to any kind of mutt animal
Right.
for health reasons. I feel that they just do better. They have a better gene pool. Just like,
I would agree with that. So
and they're
So-
gorgeous.
I wouldn't necessarily be too picky about fertilized eggs. Throw a few mixes in there.
Yeah.
I think you'll like them.
I think that's great.
Come
And,
here,
support local.
Gus is
You know,
like, yeah,
their
no,
families
I'm
do.
hanging out
They
here
need
now,
to
guys.
keep buying chicken food.
Anyways,
Yeah,
so
and people
Exactly.
with barnyard mixes will likely give you fertilized eggs for free. I mean, they really will.
All right.
thank you, Mackenzie.
Let
It's
Kenzie
great
get back to
seeing
work.
you.
Thanks,
I
guys.
promise we are going to have you down here very, very soon, and we'll be able to add the third mic to the table and do questions from the office down here. We'll be transferring the phone lines down here. We're just slowly easing Maddie in, our new sales girl in training, who's doing extremely well, but she is, just like everyone else has just joined the crew. You wouldn't believe how much there is to learn when it comes to chicken
A
coops.
lot.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mackenzie. Have a great weekend.
Thanks,
Kenzie.
guys. Happy Friday. Bye.
Bye. Okay.
So I love that I see we got some questions and some comments. If you want to go ahead, continue
Yeah.
practicing, change up the screen. Let's bring the comments up. And I know we want to get to some things that I think would be extremely helpful. No.
I
wrong
know.
one. There
I'm
we-
getting
there-
used to it all.
There you go. I just love bringing everyone's comments up. You can make it a little bit bigger. I hope you guys.
Wherever you're watching, you don't get the consolidated view like that. If
No.
you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you only have those comments. this is a consolidated view because you have the comments coming in from the different places.
So I like, yes,
So-
she's absolutely right.
Yeah.
You can see YouTube and Facebook.
So our viewers don't get that.
Right. And I think our viewers would like to see
Yeah,
that.
I think it is nice.
Right.
So,
They can chat amongst themselves when we get boring.
so why would a hen lay an egg that has no shell? It just started to lay, and it happened twice in the last week.
Okay, I just got squirreled. I was reading another question.
I know, but
That typically does happen, but I mean, it doesn't typically happen. If it
Can
does, it's just a one-off, and
Oh, hold on.
and
I'm
it
sorry.
won't
What was
happen
the
again.
question?
They're soft-shelled eggs.
in the
Oh,
very beginning when they first start
Yeah,
to lay, which
yeah.
could happen.
It does usually happen there. It can happen at any point, but it's rare. And to have 2 in 1 week is unusual. That might point to something else. Maybe she was scared and dropped that egg too soon, or just add some calcium through oyster shell or processed eggshell so that you can eliminate that as a possibility. But I would be willing to bet it probably won't happen again.
Yeah, it does. I think in the first eggs are always smaller.
Right.
Sometimes the shell's
What are you
thinner.
looking at?
Oh, we got a monster behind the green screen now.
What?
This is not going
What, is
well.
it Gus?
Yes, I don't have Jetta here to distract Gus.
Oh.
It's driving me crazy, and I can only imagine how loud it is in the microphones. It's driving me nuts. I saw one comment someone said just to trim the feathers around the head. Yeah, if that is the
Yeah,
case, I suppose you
haircut.
could. I mean, do the feathers on the Polish, on the top head, do they serve any purpose other than looks?
I don't think so.
No, but that's why people get them.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
They want the David Bowie chicken.
Yeah, I mean, they could be like a feather duster or cobweb reducer in the hen house.
Yeah, we don't know what their little jobs
Yeah.
are.
I might need one of those in the house. Another house pet.
Do you want to do more questions? Do you want to talk about the brooder? Are we going to do more questions?
Well, someone says that I wish your show was on daily. We had a chicken who was open mouth breathing and could not find an affordable vet with availability, only an animal hospital that.
That wanted $134 to be seen, which is the
Oh, okay,
case
so-
when you do have an emergency or an avian vet. They're very expensive. I can attest to that.
Well, the open mouth breathing, I mean, they'll do that a lot.
If it's warm, that
Right.
could be panting.
Right, but it could also be a sign of something.
Yeah.
Especially when, oh my gosh, what was that called?
Gape worm or something.
Yes, where they kind of looks like they're struggling
Yeah.
to swallow and they stick their that's a little bit more nasty. You're looking at just open mouth breathing, but yeah, it's good to know those signs so you can treat them in time.
Yeah, it's hard because there's so much information on the internet to have people diagnose without seeing
Right.
what's wrong with it. It's
Right.
really, and then you read and then you get caught in this rabbit hole of all the things that could possibly go wrong with your chicken.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend of mine she's a vet, went to school with her, and I asked her too if she would ever do that, and what she said is it's so difficult.
What, chickens?
No, just to give advice without actually examining the animal, without feeling the responsibility, being responsible. If
What
something,
about all this telehealth that we're doing now?
I'm just saying, I thought it would be awesome to have a vet.
Oh.
And we do have one that we keep saying we're going to bring on. And she's a
Yes.
customer. That's one of the best compliments is when we have veterinarians and we have one that specializes in poultry. Oh, yeah, we got to go back to that. I forgot about that. Anyways, loves our coops, bought a chicken coop. Anyways,
Haymaker. I remember her too. Or at
yes.
least-
Lisa Haymaker.
Yeah.
So he said that Tractor Supply recommended Vet RX, but the chicken did not make it through the night. So we're sorry, Paul, that you lost your chicken. And that's the problem with just calling different places and have them recommend something because it's, you can't just diagnose over the phone what could possibly be wrong
Right.
with the
And
chicken.
I've said this before, but chickens are prey animals, so they don't show signs of illness until it's pretty much too late.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's just how it is. And I do recommend if you have something that's really concerning to you and the chicken dies, take it to your state vet, which is usually located throughout the state, for a autopsy. For chickens here, it costs $20 or something.
I think
Really?
20,
No,
30. I think it went up to 30,
I think it's 50.
I think everything's gone up. How much now?
I think it's 50.
but still, That's
So I had a chicken that had an infection, and Friday night she was fine, and Saturday she was making a weird noise, but it was super hot, and then Sunday I could tell she was having trouble breathing, and that's how quick it happens, and also because within the flock they don't want to show weakness,
yeah.
so they
That's
have
true.
two things: being a prey animal and then the pecking order. And it turned out, and I had to make the decision because I thought she had something respiratory. Well, she did have something respiratory, and I didn't know if it was contagious. So you have to, so there's a. But
And what did you find out? What was it, and was it contagious?
It wasn't contagious, which I thought it wasn't because everybody else was fine. But it turned out that it was like a fungal infection that probably just from, the hot, wet, the high humidity here, that they can eat mold because I'm pretty good about stuff like that. They thought it could have been. It wasn't from the water, but they didn't really know what it was from. But it was some kind of fungus infection in her that went into her lungs.
Okay.
But
And speaking of a wet run, I see a comment. If you can just scroll up a little bit.
Yep.
Assuming it's a question. Mm-hmm. My run is so wet. We have had rain and more rain. Man, did it rain here yesterday? Did it rain down where you are? I'm worried about my girls. Their coop is dry. So in this case, coop, I'm assuming she's obviously referring to the hen house, is dry, but all day they are pecking around in squishy mud. Should I add shavings or what? My run is 12 by 16, and there are a couple of roosting bars.
I would add shavings,
So-
but I would wait till it stops raining. I mean, don't go out there and add shavings in the middle of a rainstorm. It does help absorb some of that moisture after the rain stops, but there's a reason why you put a roof on your chicken
Thank
coop,
you.
and that
Okay,
is
good.
because a dry condition is much easier and better and healthier than a wet condition.
Right. That is why we have that roof
Right.
over all of our runs.
And there are ways to put on a roof rather inexpensively. They have the plastic corrugated panels at Home Depot and Lowe's.
They do. Boy, what about it getting hot, almost acting like a greenhouse effect? And I've seen a lot of customers
Well,
do
they
that.
come in
even
different
the
colors
smoke
and
and
opaque, and
yeah.
it is possible. It's just and then of course that'll protect it better from hawks. But I'm assuming they do have wire on top.
Right.
So if you're looking at covering a run, the cost of wire versus the lightweight panels, I would go with the panels.
I did that on our pergola.
Yes.
I mean, and
But I have
here's
a
the
shade
deal.
cloth,
Here's the thing.
A shade cloth would do it too. I mean, you could use a shade cloth. Actually, that's actually a
Well,
really good idea.
I think it will penetrate water. Will seep through
a
there.
shade cloth will.
Yeah.
That's right.
Think about what you're doing when you build a chicken coop and you have a run without a roof, all right? But you gotta attach the screen. So now you got this board running along the bottom that not only
Yeah.
it's gonna get wet inside, you're holding it in. So there's just so many reasons I try to explain to people that it's well worth the added cost of putting a solid roof on top of your run, especially to keep it cool as well.
Right.
Give them shade.
But once it's wet, pine shavings would be fine.
Really, any type of
Yeah.
carbon.
Yeah.
Well, we've
Would
done
try to
shredded
just
paper,
absorb
leaves.
that moisture.
Wood chips.
So Kim, I hope
Wood
that
chips,
helps you.
sawdust.
But definitely, if you run into that issue, because here's the thing, especially the first year, when your chicks are young, with coccidosis, that
Yeah.
can really allow that parasite to thrive, right?
Yeah, parasites, flies. I mean, just the mud caking on their feet. There's a lot of reasons why it would be.
That's another good point. Yeah, because they're going to track that mud into their hen house. They're going to get it in the egg boxes. The eggs may not look as clean. I have
Well,
definitely.
it can build up on their feet once it dries, like this mud, and then it dries, and then adds more mud, and it dries, and then you got to scrape all that off their feet. So, or put them in the bathtub with you if they're household pets.
Oh my gosh, Anyways, real quick. I mean, we're already at 12:39. I'd love to get to some more questions and comments, but Kristen, I want to kind of give you the floor real quick to talk about something.
the brooder.
No.
Well, can we do a quick checklist of what? Because I did tease that. Of
Oh,
what
about
we
the
need
brooder.
in the brooder.
Here's the problem.
Are you gonna go get it?
No. Well, Gus is gonna go nuts. I don't have the ability to stop him. So how about can we transfer the teaser? Are we gonna really upset a lot of people?
let's just do it. It just take a minute. What, you can't
Here's
pick
where
up...
people
Well,
don't
just-
listen to me, and things go bad, and then I get even more angry at myself because I'm like, I should have stood my ground. It'll turn into a problem.
All right. Well, we can go through that next week.
Can we do it next week?
We can do that next
Are
week.
you really going to be that mad at me?
You know what? And people, I asked them to ask questions and they didn't. So we'll do it next week.
Right, let's do it next
They
week.
may not be as cute next week.
They're adorable.
They're
I have
gonna be
photos.
adorable. I mean, who doesn't love teenagers?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, if Gus wasn't, he's gonna go nuts. It's gonna be a distraction. People are not gonna like. I mean, I know they all
Why
love
don't you
Gus.
put
I
Gus
love.
in your office?
If Gus would listen, I would put him in my office. You know what he's gonna do?
What?
He's
Wine?
gonna bark and whine, and it's gonna drive me even more nuts. But he's gonna know something's up. He knows.
You can bring up the picture. We'll
Like,
just
right
do
now,
a
he's
quick, like 2
hiding.
minutes. The picture that you put on the Instagram,
Oh, sure.
He's hiding, just waiting
or
the
you can just bring up the
for the
Instagram
baby
thing.
chicks to appear.
So basically, we had the chicks hatch last week, and in like 5 minutes, Jetta and I put together a brooder, and we just grabbed a bin. Yep, there it is. Yeah, we just grabbed a bin that we saw on
Oops, that's the live
against the
video.
wall here, and put some hemp in the bottom. You can use pine shavings, whatever you want. Sometimes the first day, I'll just put paper towels in there to make sure that they're eating and drinking properly. And there's, chick feed in there. I brought non-medicated, but I think it's better to start with medicated. And then that chick water is at my absolute favorite. It's the nipple water. It's widely available. You can make your own very easily. You said you did it with like a
V8 Fusion bottles.
yeah,
were my
just
favorite.
a regular drinking bottle.
They had all the right ridges so that you could wrap a metal coat hanger around and hold it. And you just poke the holes in through the bottom. I
Yeah.
thought those were the best.
Yeah, and then I elevate that on top of either your warming plate or a can of beans. I mean, cans come in different.
They do come with a hanger too, doesn't
They
it?
do. But
happens-
on a bin, there's
what
nowhere to
happens to-
hang it.
Yeah, she's got a tote.
Can you go ahead and play
Yeah.
that video? No, I don't want to hear the audio, but if we
No.
can just open that up so people.
And then a light, and the light has to be an incandescent bulb. Those are a little harder to find now, but we managed to find one here in the shop, and either that or a warming plate.
Okay, and I also want to mention, if you're watching us right now and you are not already following us on Instagram, Carolina Coops, please go over there. You get to see a lot of the
And by warming plate, I don't mean one of those in the kitchen. I mean one of those.
the Brincy
The
is one of my
Brincy,
favorites.
they're I guess a little platform on stilts with a little warm metal plate underneath.
Yeah, a heating plate.
It mimics the mother hen sitting on the chicks.
Right.
And it's it's really no risk from fire. So it is definitely less energy, safer, more natural. I just didn't happen to bring one.
I know. And all my stuff's up in New York.
Right.
I absolutely love the Brincy heat plate. I think it's the best way to go about it. And as they get older, you can adjust it up. And like you're saying too, that flat surface, you can just set that water right on top of
Right.
it. So as the baby chicks get older, you're doing two things at once. You're elevating the heat plate, but you're also bringing up the water. So it kind of
Oh,
works.
look, and we did it.
Yes. It was,
High five.
High five. It was just that easy, and they're doing great. Jetta has been doing I love it. She's over there constantly checking on them, playing with them. She's got names for all of them. I think Nan and Jetta even did a live video on their personal.
That was really cute.
Yeah, it was. I'm over here working. I had no clue what was going on, but so yeah, we'll do more about that, I think, and especially if people have questions. I love to answer the questions that they have about the brooder, setting it up, and things like that. And I know there's a lot of other things. People think they got to put thermometers in there. They think they got to put in a feather duster. We do have a great video where we went live. We were in Dryden, Michigan, and it was an absolute awesome brooder that this lady had made. And I'm not sure if we can ever drop a link when we go to do that, when you go to do this editing.
That was
Does it delete?
no, it was an Instagram live video, and I have no way to access those.
Really?
Yeah.
So should I stop going live on Instagram? Go right to.
Well, if you should do it on YouTube and Instagram, like you have to do it. There's like an
the
Instagram.
first take's always the best.
I know,
Okay.
but that's the problem.
All right, 12:45 already.
All
15
right.
minutes left in the show. I want to be able to make sure we get to any more questions or comments.
Do you want
But
to see? Okay.
this, Kristen, I'd like for you to share.
Oh, do I get to rant now?
I want you to rant, and here's the thing, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up is I know you're not the only one that's ever had to deal with something like this. I think you're probably dealing with it to a very extreme level, but this is a very real thing. I'm not a huge fan of HOAs, but I can understand why people want to move into HOAs. I know we have done a lot of undercover chicken coops that went into HOA. So I know people push the boundaries, this and that. So I'm not going to pass judgment. But there's a lot of circumstances in your particular situation that it sucks. It sucks what you're going through. Chickens are your life. They're your passion.
They're my pets.
They're your pets. So go ahead. Tell us what's going on.
Yes, I've lived in this neighborhood for 22 years, and I have 3.5 acres, and I've had chickens most of that time. All of a sudden, I got a letter went out to all 100 homes that anyone with chickens is given a 60-day notice to get rid of their chickens. And I was like, what's this? After 22 years? This just doesn't even make sense. And there's been nobody's approached me or the other chicken people to talk about what the complaint was or what possible remedies are. And what pisses me off greatly is I talked to an attorney yesterday, and my recourse is horrible. I mean, I thought, okay, they can't touch me. There's selective enforcement. Nothing's been enforced in 22 years. They're not even collecting dues from people who are required to pay dues. And then they pick one rule, half of one rule out of the other rules to come after me and a few other people. It just doesn't, it seems discriminatory. It seems vindictive. It just doesn't make sense. And I talked to an attorney yesterday who said the first time my side is heard is in foreclosure court. So they can start fining me after 60 days, and after 20 more days, my house gets a lien and goes to foreclosure court. And that's the first time that I can say this HOA has no authority to fine me because they haven't been elected in 6 years. There's been no annual meeting, no budget published. And my requests for information have been, the reply has been no at every point. Even the information required to me by state law, they have 5 days to give me information. They said no. So, and then the attorney said if I wanted to pursue that information, she needed $5,000 just to get a copy of the complaints or the budget. And these two people are privately funding the attorney.
And they live, what was it, 300, 400 yards away?
300 yards away, 400 yards away. I mean, we're not talking about a little, close-knit, tiny lots or anything.
Right, yeah. Not like you normally see when you go into HOA.
Right,
you
right.
Would never
it is just infuriating.
I couldn't believe when you told me your neighborhood is an HOA, because it's just...
Well, we haven't been. I mean, we just collect donations, really, to pay a landscaper to mow the, entrance road. I mean, that's really all we do.
Right. So, and the lawyer you spoke...
Thanks, Dale.
The lawyer you spoke with is a lawyer that typically represents HOAs, right?
Right.
So she's going to have a very biased opinion.
I was wondering if she is biased, because the stuff that I've read says they can't selectively enforce things, and if they wait a long period of time without enforcing, they lost the right to enforce. So initially I wasn't worried, but I don't want to lose my home.
Exactly. So that is some scary stuff that lady said. And here's where, like I told you yesterday, I can't emphasize this enough. It's just like anything. Go get another opinion.
I had another opinion lined up for next week, and that attorney said they have so many HOA cases that they can't even give me a consultation.
Oh boy. So I'm hoping our viewers, I want to share this with everyone because it's the real things that go on here and going on with you, which I can only imagine how devastating this is. I am a fan of fighting for what you believe in. But there's nothing worse than losing, especially your home. I mean, this is insane. And I'm hoping maybe some of our viewers out there have experienced something similar to this. I think it's important to talk to other people that have gone through it, maybe have some advice. Maybe we even have a lawyer out there. We got a lot of customers and viewers that are lawyers that might say, hey, I've had that case, same exact thing. Here's some advice. Here's whatever. I don't want to see you lose your chickens. The selfish side of me Would love for you to move closer to the shop. You do live an hour away, so you got 2 hours of driving.
I can't let these bullies win.
I don't. I
and
agree.
I think I'll give an update later, so I'm not going to say anything else. I've probably said too much, but this is just. And by the way, I've only had a rooster for a year, only during COVID because there was a chick shortage. So the rooster's now gone. That's why earlier I said no more fertilized eggs, which is fine. I wasn't intending on keeping him for a long time. But if the rooster was a problem, why didn't you say something about it? And then somebody on the board told me, well, they didn't want a confrontation. And you think taking my home away from me and my children is not a confrontation? Like, how cowardly is that? Cowardly and aggressive.
It is, and you just made a good point I didn't think about, and I forgot you did say this when you, because you're not a fan of having roosters.
I didn't even like, I liked the rooster, but I hate the crowing.
Right. Now listen, but you just made a very good point. You had the rooster to help contribute to the chick shortage.
Right.
And that chick shortage was contributed to COVID.
A pandemic.
A
global pandemic, yes.
And so you became, in a way, one of those necessary businesses, if you will, and you probably were doing it for free to help people.
Of course I was,
So,
because I don't make money.
Right. So I can't help but wonder if, I think you got to help.
But no one talked to me. No one told me what the complaint was.
I know, but moving forward, you would think they would, but obviously they're not going to. And then put up their own personal money.
Yeah.
That seems crazy. Or I would call their bluff, but to put your home on the line,
yeah,
that's a tough one. That is a tough one. So yeah, please keep us posted.
Okay.
Anybody out there?
And there's the household pets as part of the animal rule.
I noticed
there's
you
an
dropped that
exception
in.
for household pets. So.
Yeah, I tried that with the city of Durham.
So
years
yeah,
ago.
my
I
Facebook
didn't
profile
win.
picture will be a picture of me and a frizzle in bed together,
God, I love frizzles. We gotta get some more frizzles.
and having breakfast together.
So Farmer Brad said, Farm to Consumer Legal Defense Fund is a great resource.
I'm telling you, this is why I wanted you to bring it up, and
Yeah.
I appreciate you opening up.
And
the
there has to be some like backlash to these HOAs. I mean, they really don't even have the authority to do this.
Well, if they don't have the authority,
The first time I get to say that is in foreclosure court.
I know that is insane. That is
Like,
insane, and that's
yeah.
a big risk. But this is why I think talking to someone that normally probably fights the HOA is worth, and especially under circumstances where I'm sure it was the rooster that triggered it. Neighbors don't want to hear roosters.
Yeah, if I could guess, that's what it would be.
But you're not
And-
the only neighbor with a rooster.
Right,
correct?
I'm not the only neighbor with a rooster.
Right. All right. Well,
I'm just the one that is willing to speak out. I mean, the issue is such a non-issue that Dale is going around trying to find out where the chickens are. Like, he doesn't even know where they are because they're so quiet and so hidden.
yeah, and you had another neighbor.
Like, talk about a witch hunt. Like, he's just trying to track them down.
You had another neighbor that said that they could smell them.
Yes, 5 acres away.
But these are the things that people deal with.
Like, he has 2.5 acres. I have 3.5 acres. Like,
and you got
wait, that's
mature-
6 acres.
yeah,
So
you-
6 acres away, he can smell them. That's impossible.
It is. It's just nonsense. I'm sorry.
They're just making stuff up. Oh, and then they told all 100 homes in this notice that there's a risk to everyone due to salmonella. Like, these scare tactics. Like, everybody should be afraid because these chickens are going to cause coyotes and salmonella and, whatever else. But
I was going to bring that up because CDC came out with something last week.
Right.
That just
They do every year, it seems.
and all of those years I've had chickens, me and my children, which don't have the best hygiene practices, have never had salmonella. I mean, we don't wash our hands constantly.
The
Is what I mean.
CDC is misleading
Right.
people to a level that is just so frustrating.
You have a much greater chance of getting salmonella from chicken from the store or eggs from the store.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But this is why. That's what I
And
don't
my
want to get into it all, but that is
pediatrician told me that my children are going to grow up healthier. Because I asked when I first got the chickens when they were little, little tiny kids. And the pediatrician said, oh, no, your kids will be healthier than any other kid, and they'll probably even have immunity to it. So he was like, there's no issue whatsoever.
Right.
I kiss my chickens.
We are so jackass backwards in the way
I
government.
share a fork with my frizzle.
So, well, keep us posted. I'm sorry you're going through that. It'll all work out. There's always silver linings, and something good will happen. It always does. It always does. And if there's anyone they don't want to mess with, is you. I've
Yeah,
never met
well,
someone as witty.
And I'm
You should have been a lawyer. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Probably.
Anyway, so questions, comments. We're coming up. We got 4 minutes left in the
Thanks,
show.
Dale.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dale. And Farmer Brad, thank you so much for that. So make sure you do that.
Farm to Consumer Legal Defense Fund.
Farm to consumer. And I'm telling you, especially during a
And
pandemic.
I've been very careful not to sell eggs too.
Right, to
just
call it a
in
business,
case.
yeah.
I mean, I've probably taken 2 feed donations in the last 5 years for my eggs.
I've carried a lot of those feed donations out to your chickens. So Farmer Brad, thank you for that. And again, anyone else that has any advice, thoughts, comments, questions, we
Yeah.
would love to hear from you. So we can go back to the comments page here real quick. I would
Okay.
love to see what people are saying. I don't understand why our audience is so low right now live.
Well, it is summer. Maybe there people
no,
are.
something's not right. Something's not right. No way. But I appreciate for everyone that's watching right now. We are live.
That rant felt good to get it off my chest.
You did well.
Yeah, well.
I wish I could rant as well as you do.
I think you can.
No, I kind of can't control it. Apparently, I go from 0 to violent. But anyways,
Not really violent.
well, you know what I mean. Angry.
All right. Do you want to read questions?
Yeah, I would. Or Kristen, you want to? I love reading them.
Oh, where can you get a heat plate? You can get those. Premier Poultry is one of my favorite places for supplies. Of course, Amazon, Brinzia.
I will put on our website the Brinzy
Yeah.
heat plate, and as an Amazon affiliate, I put
We
some
should
stuff
really
on there.
contact them too, because I really plug them a lot.
You do.
But I love to do it because it's a great product. I don't like the people that.
I think the Premier Poultry has stuff on Amazon too.
Yeah, be very careful when you're buying from Amazon. I love Amazon, but when you are on Amazon, there are a lot of products that are knockoffs. People are making a bunch of money, and I love capitalism. I love the free market, but don't steal someone's stuff, their idea, their patents, and send it off to China, say, make this cheaper, and then bring it back and put it on Amazon. I mean, even Amazon does it, you know, when you really think about it. It is just a brutal world out there. But I love to try to support the people that I know are the original designers, builders, and are able to use the advantages that Amazon does have for convenience and price, of course. Fisher Matt Ryan looks like Ingrid's in the background right now,
Sorry.
bringing up the emails. That's fine.
No,
Go ahead and.
I can't get his photo. I don't know what it is. All right.
Sure,
so-
you can.
It
That's
doesn't look like it was attached
Yeah.
or something, or didn't come through.
you
yeah.
non-Apple people.
Oh, is it down below in like the tray or something?
No, because there was nothing there.
Oh,
He even
boy.
said, I tried. So, what about this one? Can you feed young chickens, 3 months old, fresh cabbage and fruits? Will it affect their laying at all?
They're laying at 3 months old?
No, they haven't begun yet. But
Oh,
will it
in the
affect them at
future.
all? Like, can
Oh.
you feed?
Oh, yeah. I would. Yeah, absolutely. And they might be hesitant at first, but curiosity will get them and they will check it out. And they are developing their taste. You might find that they don't eat mealworms right away, but eventually they'll learn.
Gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
also, can you give 9-week-old chicks scratch and other treats?
Yes.
Mealworms? Yes.
Yes. By that time, they do have the proper like rocks in their crop and to digest grains, whole grains. And you might, if you're worried about it, you can give them the.
I wonder how loud that is. I
It's-
apologize to people. Gus is just, he is upset. His
Oh,
favorite.
he's behind the screen.
He's-
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Something
He's-
is scratching and
He's over here
breathing heavy
breathing and
behind me.
snoring.
I'm just not used to
His
that.
favorite human Jetta is off at
Yeah.
the beach and not real.
My cat's purr.
He's, yeah. Oh, my cat. We still got to get that shop kitty. And I
Yeah.
did see someone that says, I wish you would get to all the comments. We absolutely can. I see Eric is patiently being quiet out there. But anyways, make this a 2 to 3 hour show. I tried. I would love to.
Mike.
We
I
need
would
to
love
take
to.
it on the road.
No, speaking of that,
I'm getting the itch to travel.
I know, and we are so far behind. I am due to get out and get some videos. We got some amazing chicken coops that are getting done out there, custom coops and production coops that have been customized a little bit. Like the guys right now are finishing up. I think it's an American coop, but it has the old shed roof, the old manor house style roof. And I can't wait to get out and see that. They're out in Northern California. We have a potential customer that is also in Northern California. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to say it wrong. I'm going to say Snow White or something like that. It's some fairy tale type design like you'd see in Disney World or a Disney cartoon. And we're going to be doing hopefully a chicken coop design. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So we could go out there, do a lot of the follow-up videos that we love to do, and then also do some site surveys. So we are working on that. I think it would be awesome.
Then we could capture the full life cycle, like a production company might.
Yes, and yes. So anyways, I do think that is a great idea. I would love to do like what you're almost seeing right now, is that you get to see the us in front of a chicken coop doing the show. And then when people have questions about it, we can go right to the coop like we did in Dryden, Michigan that one time. And I think it was a huge success. Hold on, what's that say? Sometimes quail can get around HOA. Now you have had quail.
Yes, because they're classified as game versus poultry. So
an HOA would accept game hens versus...
Well, because the rule is no poultry except household pets and no more than 3 dogs. But so it is possible. So I'm on that.
So Jacob Neal says, my coop sits under several trees. What would be a safe thing to wash the coop with that wouldn't harm the chickens?
Okay. May I real quick? Again, that is something I always want to tell people is going to happen. I love a chicken coop in the wooded area. Provides the shade. It looks great. It's natural, but you are going to get a lot of stainage from the trees, whether it's the saps and leaves falling. So something to think about. There's pros and cons to everything. I'd love putting a hen house or a chicken coop in the woods, but that is one of and also if you're collecting rainwater, making sure the leaves stay out of the gutter. But you do go to clean it. Do you have a recommendation?
No.
I don't either.
I cleaned my coop, just got the dust and stuff off of it, and I use a bucket of water and some Castile soap. Just a
What
little
kind of soap?
Castile.
It's a natural soap.
Never heard of it.
And I just wiped it down. That way, if it, it's not, I'm not getting any place where the chickens are touching.
Yeah, you can get some splashback, especially on those white coops.
Yeah. So
when it rains.
Oh, gotcha. Well, that's really anywhere. But when he's mentioning he or she, I forgot where the question was.
Jacob.
When they're out in the woods, I noticed coops can get real dirty looking versus out in the wide open.
Do you think vinegar would be okay, Ingrid? I mean, I think it would be okay, but do you think it would help clean?
It might. It's just the smell of that would be kind of, you'd have to really dilute it. You just don't want anything that's like a chemical, like Windex and all those kind of chemicals. I would stay away from that stuff, personally. I think it's a harsh cleaner anyway, and it's not necessary. Nan
is real big into natural cleaning, and she uses something called Thieves. You ever heard of that?
That's
Am I wrong? I thought that was a cleaning agent. I feel like she's cleaning everything with it.
An essential oil.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that not a cleaning agent?
No, it could be. It could be helpful.
Yeah.
It's very expensive. I mean,
okay. Oh, good. That's good to know.
you might use it.
I didn't know that part. Well, that's a good question.
My mom does that too.
Which?
Thieves.
So what is Farmer Brad's saying? Something was shadow banned due to the HOA lobby. I don't know.
Are you shadow banned? We didn't even think of that.
What's shadow
banned? What does that mean?
Oh my goodness! Come on, you guys.
No. Okay. Well, we'll play the game. Shadow banned. I'm not allowed to have my shadow anymore.
Oh.
I
need to look into this Farmer Brad guy. He and I need to be friends. But that's when Facebook, as we know, they have some shady backroom dealings with getting their message out and what they want to promote. So when you put something on Facebook that they don't like, that doesn't fit their narrative, they make it so that it's not visible to other people. And that was recently, there was an insider that came out with this and got interviewed and produced the documents from Facebook, the internal documents explaining how they do this, and he got fired.
Shocker.
Yeah. But then I think other people raised like $500,000 to pay for his pain and suffering.
So, all right, clarify this then.
So he's saying that if there's something on the show that Facebook doesn't like, they reduce its
Visibility.
position, and they reduce like comments from being.
Oh, we are being shadow
Yes,
banned. Now I'm
yes.
fired up. I thought he meant
Exactly.
like they saw something on your Facebook that they didn't like,
Oh,
and
I'm
they
not even
found who your
associated
neighbors
with this.
are.
Yeah.
And they're like, this girl should not have chickens. And you live in
Yeah.
HOA. Are you crazy? You're a bad neighbor. I was thinking something. Oh my God.
No.
But
He's
we
not-
shadow banned. We better not be, right, marketing lady?
Yeah, I
I
don't
can
think
see
so.
us totally being shadow banned.
I don't think so. I think it's fine.
Yeah, they don't like people like us.
I think you've
That keeps
been.
me
I think
going.
you've been like laying below the radar. I don't think there's any keywords with Carolina Coops that are objectionable. So I think you're okay. But
Except for that one time, Ingrid, we were talking about black snakes and something happened with Google. They
they pick up
versus
keywords.
the copperheads,
yeah.
and that there's a benefit to have the black snakes around. And
So here we have another question. How is the production of this year's orders going for Carolina Coops material-wise? Are prices still rising?
some are still rising, some have leveled out, some are falling. But here's the scary part, and you can just look at the graph. Every time it started to go down a little bit, it spikes and doubles again. So actually, there's been some things like lumber has started to come down a little bit, and I am trying to jump for joy. History always repeats itself. It's gonna spike again, guaranteed.
And just because the prices come down doesn't mean that you can get a train car of it, right? Because it has to be available to purchase.
So there's pricing and there's availability.
Yes.
It is a double-edged sword. It is.
And you do
It's awful right now.
typically buy like a train car or
Yeah,
a
it's-
container. You have a lot of wood.
We try to, yes. We absolutely do when it's available. We have to, and that's the benefit of, I guess, buying from us, is we're doing constantly. You know, that's one of the things. Actually, we never really talk about a lot of stuff that Mackenzie does, and that's her specialty. You know, is shopping. She goes
Sourcing.
out and does all the purchasing, and I've taught her as much as I can, and still teach her. And we learn together about different materials, so she knows what they're talking about, or if they're trying to pull some crap, you know, with misleading her, which can happen. She's pretty darn smart, and she's learned a lot, and she's gotten really good at getting out there, finding availability in different materials. But buying in large quantities is a necessary thing to be able to pass the savings along to the customer, but makes it tough sometimes.
So
Is your Coops waterproof? Not the run, of course.
No.
Is your Coops waterproof? Not the run of. I don't understand that question.
well, the roof is waterproof.
I mean, waterproof, that's just I think that's a high level of standard. You know, there might get water, might be water that can get inside due to driving rain or something.
Well, hold on.
going
So
through
are
the
we talking
windows.
about, are they waterproof to keep the rain out? Are we talking about that no water can get into the materials? What are we
Right.
talking about waterproof?
We don't
This
know.
is where
But you can sit it out in the rain and
Absolutely.
be absolutely 100% confident.
Just like-
100%.
Just like your house, you paint
right,
it,
right.
you s- paint it, stain it, treat it somewhere.
And what I
somehow.
like to tell people, you
Is
know,
don't hose it out.
you don't ever hose out your hen house.
Don't
if you
hose
find
out the
that you
hen
got to
house.
hose out your hen house, you got bigger problems. And even if you leave your windows open a little bit or some rain gets in through the cupola, it's actually going to benefit the deep litter system.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So Farmer Brad was joking about the shadow banning.
Oh, well, I got in another rant, though.
I know
so
you did, didn't
thank
you? Would chickens peck through the wrapped roost bars, or like we like to call them, the
That's a
rope
great
wrap
question.
roast?
We have
roost
not
bars?
had them peck through them.
I don't think they would.
I don't think they would.
And they
And
wouldn't unravel. I mean,
to
I mean, they might
unravel
peck
that-
it to just be curious, but they're not gonna they're gonna find, oh, that's just hemp rope.
I
and
would
they're
love
not
to
gonna
see
do it
us
more.
unravel that.
Yeah.
It's not coming unraveled. You can go in with a knife, take an X-Acto knife or a utility knife, cut it, sure, but I don't see that being an issue at all,
Yeah, I
and
would
nor
think so.
has it been.
So how about, do you recommend putting a Roost Bar in the run during the day?
I like it because the chickens seem to like it. The thing is, don't ever put it up higher than your roost bars in your hen house.
Right.
If you do that, they will go to that roost bar on the outside. I always tell people, because most of our coops have that, the elevated hen house, that roost bar out in your run, don't ever go higher than the bottom of that bottom of the hen house, which is usually about knee height. The chickens love it.
I was
do.
noticing at Ingrid's house yesterday that she's made good use of her vertical space.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You share? Do you have pictures? Pictures?
Yeah, she's got various tree branches between two logs. She's got logs that they can jump on. She's got
I think what you're saying is next week we should do the show live at
yeah,
Ingrid's house.
Yeah. Well, she's having an open house Saturday.
Yeah, and how many people like
tomorrow.
gardening? We should do that.
Yeah, we should show up at Ingrid's.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't believe Ingrid's a
What are you doing?
badass. When?
Tomorrow we go to her
Oh
open
my
house.
gosh. No, it's going to be too busy.
Ingrid's always
No,
too
I
busy.
know. That's why it would be great to do the.
We should do a live show.
Yeah, I mean, she's got some badass stuff going on at her house. I mean,
Yeah.
she even had like badass plants in the compost bin that I was picking through.
Oh.
Like, hey, I see a couple tiger lilies. These are thriving in here.
I
I'm gonna
will.
take
I will
these.
give you some. I have some plants for you, Kristen. Don't worry.
Yeah. And then she had a compost, like a bucket hanging out front for her neighbors to drop off compost, which I thought was wonderful. What was that called?
It's sharewaste.com, and people can go, and that's around the United States. If you
I
go
have
to
a
that
picture.
website, you can go and find out if there's a place that near you, a house that accepts table scraps.
Yeah.
So you can do that, and we turn it into soil and worm tea and all the good stuff that we do for the garden.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really fantastic.
So we have some neighbors. We have one guy that drives every Saturday morning and dumps his table scraps. He lives in a townhome a couple miles away. But yeah, but they do like the vertical space, and I think partly because I don't have the room that a lot of people have for their chickens. I don't have acres. I don't have a big grassy field, so I try to make it as interesting as possible for them.
Well, and it's good to be smart and have fun with it.
I emailed. Oh, let's see. Is that gonna go?
Well, I wanted to. While you guys are
I
doing whatever it
emailed,
is you're doing.
Matt the picture of that compost thing that I thought was so cool, and I'm also gonna put it in the shared drive.
We can actually, just so you know, Ingrid, because I do want to start taking advantage of the other options and features of Ecamm Live, and we can actually have our phones come up where we can share the screen on our phone. We can use it as a camera. I really want to film this or go live with Instagram so they can see kind of, they don't get all the special visual effects and this and that, but it might be kind of
Okay,
fun.
it went to the shared drive.
Um,
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. She's got some cool stuff going on over there.
we should do that. So we're going to invite ourselves over.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
James Duffy asks, why do you use hardware cloth on your coops instead of chicken wire?
Oh wait, I have another live show. We go see Dale. Let's go see Dale.
You know I would do it too.
Oh yes, get the production crew.
Yeah.
We're going.
Yeah, we
we're
need
going.
camera.
Yeah, yeah. Chickens in the purses. Chickens on the backpack.
So why do we use hardware cloth?
Sorry.
I bet you our viewers would love to see that.
Yeah.
We would love to
Yeah.
see
Any
that.
locals? Come on.
Why do you use hardware cloth on your coops instead of chicken wire? And thanks for staying on longer. You are welcome. Yes. So we use hardware cloth because really two main reasons. Well, really three. We used to use chicken wire, what we called hexagrid.
Black vinyl coated.
Black vinyl coated, and I love the material, especially because you can really stretch that tight. What we found out is if you look at the size of that opening of that hexagrid, which was actually 1 inch by 1 1/4, a snake,
Swallowed wrong.
you all right?
Yeah.
A snake that is big enough, old enough to eat your chicken eggs is small enough to fit through that opening of the hexagrid. So that was one of the first reasons why we got away from chicken wire. Number two, and this is more because of the comments on YouTube, way back in the day saying, Matt, you shouldn't use chicken wire. I've used that, and I've had raccoons reach in and pull my chickens out. And I've always said, if your raccoons can get to your chickens at night, because they're a nocturnal creature, something's wrong with the design of your coop. So they're talking about their personal experience.
Yes.
Ours are up in the hen house where all the time we used hardware cloth on the windows. But we used to use the black PVC coated hardware hexagrid on the run to keep the price down. And again, I loved, because it was fun to work with and get it nice and tight. But eventually we stopped going back, to the snake thing. But honestly, I would not steer away from it. I would never use, and this is true for hardware cloth, if it's not PVC coated, I would not use regular galvanized. It'll get you by for a year, but it will rust, and you won't realize the weak points until it's too late. And then the other thing about, especially our hardware cloth, is it is a thicker gauge. It's very difficult.
What gauge is it?
16 gauge, and it's very difficult for it's just stronger. It has a higher braking strength. And, and that's the other thing, too, when I think about it. You could, especially with hexagrid, when the opening is bigger, especially with raccoons or maybe foxes when they're chewing, it's easier for them to get parts of their mouth in and have the leverage to really start pulling it. Mm-hmm. Versus hardware cloth, they really can't get in there and have that leverage to be able to open it up. So, knock on wood, we've never had anything break through the half-inch hardware cloth. And I can tell you, regardless of what you decide to use for fencing, screening, whatever, it is important to use the right type of material, not just for the hardware cloth, but how you attach it. People make a big mistake, especially when they're attaching to pressure treated, using hardware that is just zinc, not stainless steel like we use or hot dip galvanized, because the copper in the pressure treated lumber will corrode it. What was that big?
Oh, because Mike
face?
Trapp says, remember to take wine when you go over to Ingrid's.
You don't want to come empty-handed.
Oh, yeah.
Never come over empty-handed. That's not polite.
What kind do you like?
Red.
So James Duffy, I hope that answered your question. I'm sure there's a couple more other reasons. And again, we emphasized the black PVC coated. It protects that wire core, and it absorbs the light. It's see-through. I actually had a potential customer call yesterday. And this is a legitimate question. I've never had this question before. She asked, will that PVC coating hold up out here in Arizona? And we have, I don't know how many coops out in Arizona, never had an issue, but I thought that was a good question. I don't think there would ever be an issue in the heat or the cold. The stuff's just been awesome.
Have you ever had serious wind damage to a coop?
I'm sorry, Gus was being so loud behind me. He's just going nuts.
Have you ever had serious wind damage to a coop?
No. The one that always pops back in my mind is when we had a coop, and I told him, I said, this is going to blow away. You're going to want to have it. You're going to want to pay us to tether it down. He said, no. If the wind comes in, it's going to blow it apart in pieces, and the whole thing. It tipped over and blew it into the field. Not one thing broke. The only type of wind damage I could ever see happening to a chick coop, and this is one of the things we talk about, especially on site surveys, is those, the widow makers, those tree branches that can come down. They're heavy. But nothing directly to the chicken coop from wind. So I hope that made sense.
Yeah, we had that coop in Texas that had the hurricane, and there was a big tree that was
that's right.
uprooted, and the coop was perfectly fine.
Yep.
I think it was that American coop that was.
Yeah,
like,
that's
that
right. Yeah, here's the deal. Our coops, it's all about the joinery. Are you gonna make it?
Yeah, I'm gonna get I think I have a caramel or something I can eat.
The joinery is so strong. We're already coming up to 120. I mean, we might be able to call it a day.
Because me and my chickens eat the
I think it's time to call it a day.
Off the same plate, because we're just tight like that.
What's gotten into you?
Dale.
So you really want to go there? Go there live?
Yeah.
Do we have fans that would like to see that?
Dale and Paul.
You understand there's no going back.
Yeah, sure. What do I have to lose? My house. Dale. Evil. Good for nothing.
Well,
I think we should do it.
There's nothing worse than feeling like you're being forced to make a decision because of other people's malice.
Yeah.
Because it happened to me as well. So not the same situation,
mind your
but
own
it's
business.
But it's out of pure malice. It's not out of
He doesn't even drive by my house.
right.
I gotta
So-
drive by his.
And it's it's if you wanted to move or get rid of your chickens, that should be your decision when you want to do that.
Right.
Not you shouldn't be forced into that.
So what are you saying? Next Friday we go live. We go show up at his house.
Yeah. Well, actually,
We'll be
I
talking-
might
That
need
involves
to. I
Michael.
might need to get a couple things underway first.
We're going to need to consult lawyers before we do that.
Anyways, all right.
If we stay in the street, that's public.
Oh,
Have a little protest in the street.
oh my gosh.
Well, thank you to the 18 people who stood by us all this time.
No, I think it's more than that. I think it's more than that. Something's not right. Something got hung up. I think there's a lot more viewers than that.
Shadow
That's that's why I checked on my phone.
Are you in Facebook jail?
No, not that I know of. I have actually never been to Facebook jail. I was gonna say I've tried. I don't know how people do it, but I've apparently been a good boy. And I don't spend as much time on Facebook like I used to.
Yeah, I don't either.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Come check us out next week. And, of course, if you're not already following us on Instagram, please go over there. If you're watching us on YouTube and you're not liking our Facebook, please go over there. And if you're on Facebook, please subscribe to YouTube if you have not already. And if you have any other questions, comments, you're watching this after today's live show, please leave those comments down below. Ingrid loves answering all those comments and questions. Oh, we never did YouTube Chicken Police.
Next week.
You snuck out of that one.
Wait,
good.
are we going to Ingrid's next week?
It sounds like
we
we're
do
either
it?
going to go end up in jail because of trespassing, or we're going to be
if
drinking
we're
wine
on
at
the
Ingrid's.
street, and we can go to Ingrid's with wine.
Should we call the media? This may not be good PR for Carolina Coops, though. Or it could be really good.
All right.
Okay.
All right. In the meantime, we will be scheming. Scheming and dining with our pets.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. Good job, guys. Wow, I can't wait till